So hey guys, welcome back to my channel. If you guys are new to this, get used to this. If you guys are used to this, obviously you're not new to this. And either way it goes, if you like to see, thumbs up. If you don't, thumbs me down. Today's story time is going to be one of those very close and personal story times that I never really talked about, and I'm going to talk about them now. And for the sake of this video, there's like a couple of people in there. It is the molester, his wife, family. Alright. So when I get to the names, I'll go make up something. So I think it was about 8. My parents got married in 2004. When my parents got married in 2004, we stopped around age 9, I believe. I stopped going to my other aunt's house about 8 or 9. So I was 8 at the time. So 8 or 9, I think it was, yeah. I don't know, but it was age about 8 or 9 or whatever. And so I told you guys before that I was being molested when I was younger. Like touched on, philia, like stuff like that. And so, it happened. It just, when mom got married, it just happened with my stepdad's side of the family. Well, I don't like to call my stepdad, so I'm calling my dad's side of the family. And they started touching on me. It was 2 uncles, you guys. 2 uncles, and I had one aunt who used to make fun of me and belittle me, like, oh, this and that, yada yada yada, blah 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 blah, all that good stuff. And so they would touch on me. They would make me sit on their face. They'd say, "This is what you do. This and that." They used to touch me, like right here, like literally touch me. They would touch my boobs and say, "Oh, I said they growing or whatever." And so that happened for like 4 years, 4 or 5 years. And then like right before my virginity was taken, one of my uncles, I'm going to call him Tom. Tom decided to make me like his little girlfriend, but he's like, well, we have to hide it in this and that or whatever. And he would kiss on me, and he would kiss on me and stuff like that. And I used to always be at my grandma's house, and he used to always be at my grandma's house. And I don't think I should tell the rest of the story because I already gonna start the story. I might as well just finish the story. So he would touch me, and he would kiss on me and stuff, and he made me think like he was my boyfriend. And then so one day he was like, in the process of touching on me, I think we was in the kitchen one day. It was like 2:00 in the morning, and it was like 12 going 1:00 going on to 2, and my mom didn't come back. So he was like, oh, meet me in the bathroom. I got something for you. So, I was so, young and stuff. And since it was happening for so long, I was just so used to it. And, so I'm like, oh, he finna go touch me down. I'm finna feel special. I'm finna feel important. I'm really, finna feel, important. And I'm finna feel I was really finna feel important. I was gonna feel special again because, at the time, I was going through something with, my parents and stuff, and, I used to get beat on, I used to, marked up and, abused, verbally, physically, I used to go to school, with marks, on my, neck. I had a mark on my neck one time, and I had to go to school, and, I had to, come back, I used to, get whelps and stuff, extension cords goes across the neck. I was, hoes and bitches and shit like that, and he made me feel. He made me feel special, so he made me feel special, so he said go to the bathroom, and so I went there, and my mom came, right? So he had to call work because he had a cold breath. And so I just went up like I was like peeing or whatever, right? And I was like, oh, whatever. So I was gonna get back in the bed. And my mom's like, oh, I didn't know you were still up. He's like, what you doing up? He's like, oh, I came for a late night snack. And then I was like, well, so he's like, what you doing up? I was like, oh, I had to go pee really, really bad. And she's like, okay, or whatever. And so one day we were in the car or whatever. She's like, oh, you know that's your cousin, right? And I was like, and she was like, is anything going on? I'm saying, I was like, no, nothing at all. No, nothing at all. She's like, oh, you get along with them, right? I was like, yeah, we get along, whatever. She's like, okay. And before I continue the story, like, we made up about the abuse, like the fist fight and the whelps and stuff like that. So we're okay now with that. And then I said I wasn't gonna cry, yeah. I really wasn't. Okay, so it still happened. I told y'all at 14 I got raped. Nothing new, right? We all know that. And if you watch my channel, I did a story time on that. It's called So I'm a Hoe Now, and I wouldn't further into that. And so after that happened, I just became like really promiscuous, and he would come around and he would still touch on me and do these things and tell me that he loved me and that if we weren't cousins that he would date me and that we could get married and all this other good stuff. And it was just like, and I believed him, and I don't know why I believed him, but I believed him. And then one day he got a girlfriend, and like a real girlfriend outside of right? And we were at a family function, and he was talking about, he's like, oh, I got this girl, we're dating, this and that, or whatever. And I kind of overheard him, and I was in my feelings, because it's like, okay, you got a girlfriend, but not too long ago we was in movies together, and you had your hands on my pants, talking about some if it's anybody, it'll be you that I want to be with, kissing up on me, touching up on me, and stuff like that. So I went like away from everybody else or whatever, because like in the back of my mind I'm thinking. And so I went to go use the bath. I was upstairs, right? And so everybody's like all over the house and stuff, but nobody's like really upstairs. And like, so I'm like upstairs by myself, and so I'm upstairs, I'm in the bathroom, I thought I finished peeing, so the door opens, so I'm about to leave, and so he pushes me in, and he's like, I'm sorry, and he's kissing me, and he puts me up on the counter, he's like, I'm sorry, and he's kissing me here, there, like everywhere, like, I'm sorry, and I'm just like, no, get off me, you got a girlfriend, this and that, yada, 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 you lied to me. And he's like, I'm sorry, and then so all of a sudden he has, sex with me, and it's just so weird, and I'm just like, and then so he gets up and he's like, okay, I'm gonna go leave the bathroom first, right? Check the coast is clear. He's like, I'm gonna do like a little, so to come out. So nobody's upstairs, like I was saying earlier, because they have about to upstairs and stuff like that. So all of a sudden, 5 minutes later, I hear. So I get up, I go, and I like wash my hands, make sure I wash my hands and stuff, and I go back in the room I was in, finna watch the TV. And the whole 5 minutes in the bathroom, I'm just crying to myself. I'm like, because it hurts. And it reminded me of how, when I first got raped, how he told me, don't say nothing. And, I'm not crying, because he was like, don't say nothing, don't say nothing, don't say nothing, you feel me? Don't say nothing. And, he was like, don't say nothing. And after he said, don't say nothing, I was just like, okay, I won't say nothing. Like, quiet. Like, I'm not gonna say nothing. And it took me back to that place, and I felt so worthless. And I was like, I'm not gonna talk to this person no more. Nothing. You know what I mean? And then probably like 2 years, like sometime later, he ended up getting married to the girl, and she had kids and stuff like that. And, you know, not only did she have kids, but he had a daughter. And I was so mad. I hated her so much. I hated her so much. I feel like she had took my man away from me, but I knew he wasn't my man, but I felt like she took my man. Like, you know, like you ever had that feeling like somebody took your man? And so, you know, when she came around or whatever, I got over it, you feel me? Or I thought I was over it for some time, because I was like, okay, whatever, I don't give a fuck anymore, you feel me? I don't fucking care. I don't care. You know, that was wrong or whatever. And so I had to accept responsibility for the actions, because at some point I knew it was wrong. You feel me? I knew it was wrong. Like, I don't think it was until I got to high school and I ended up talking to this lady. And, you know, she was just talking to me. She's talking to me. She's like, and she was like, it's okay. It's wrong. You have to take responsibility. You have to take your part. She's like, you don't have to take responsibility now. But she was like, you don't have to take responsibility sooner or later. So I ended up taking responsibility for it. And, you know, we didn't talk for like a while, right? And so every time we come around, I say, hey, hey, how you doing? And that's just it. And I got like really like just separate from the family, because it was just so much hurt, because it wasn't only him who did that, but he only took it to that extent. And the other one, you know, would just like, oh, sit on my face, do this, do that, 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 do this, do that. You know, have you ever done this before? And this is, so, you know, it was like different, because they never like took it that far, and they never took it to the extent. And the other one always just make fun of me. So it's like, okay, I know I don't fit in here, because they look at me like I'm the hoe. You feel me? And so you know, years went by, and so I was finna join my grandmother's sorority, and his wife, you know, was going to join the sorority. She actually joined the sorority. And I was like, I hate her so much. But then I found out that she's like really cool. Like, she was a really cool person. And I was like, oh, I can't hate her, because it's not her that I hate. You feel me? It's not her that I hate. I don't hate her. I just, you know, I just wish she knew, whatever, right? But I was like, it's too late. I'm going to be looking like the bitter one. I don't want nobody to look at me weird. And then so one day I was talking to, so one day I was in class, and I had a breakdown. Like, I had a real mental breakdown. Like, I don't know if y'all seen it, like, how's my life going, like, mental breakdown. I need to go to therapy and stuff like that. And, so, you know, he texted me, and my whole body shut down. And this is in psychology class. Like, as much as y'all know, I love psychology. I really love psychology. And so, you know, I'm talking, I'm like, oh, I know the answer to that, oh, I know the answer to this. So, you know, I'm like, oh, yeah, you know, I know about it, you know, blah, 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 blah. You know, I'm just spitting off facts like this, like, just spitting off facts or whatever. And, you know, I'm just, like, really enjoying, you know, psychology. And, you know, I get this text message, and I'm just like, mood totally ruined. I had to leave the classroom because I just started crying. I'm sitting in front of the whole class now. I'm crying. I'm like, so I had to leave the classroom. And so, you know, I ended up crying to my teacher, telling him, like, you know, some things, and I'm crying, and it's like Hispanic. He's like Hispanic, but he looks like crying, like real tears and shit. And he's like, have you considered therapy? I'm like, I don't know, because, you know, black people don't get therapy. And he's like, neither do Spanish people. I said, okay. And he's like, I'm Spanish. I was like, oh, I didn't know. So, you know, he told me to go to the counselor, and I tried to go to the counselor and get an appointment. They didn't have any, of course. And so it was like, oh, we cut the bonding for that, for the school, this, and that, yada, yada, yada. So it's like, now I had to go deal with it. And then I had to take responsibility, right? And the whole time I'm responding back, but I don't want to respond back because part of me's like, we got him. You feel me? He can't let us go. He can't let us go. And other part is like, girl, let it go. Let it go. Let it go. And I'm just like, why can't I let it go? And then, so, you know, so after that, I was just like, I just gave straight attitude. So he stopped talking to me. And then after that, he started talking to me again. And I was just so over it. And I was like, how am I gonna help you? This, and that. He's like, you don't fuck with me, this, and that. Yada, yada, yada. And it's still to this day that he still talks to me. But he just asks how I'm doing now. Like, he apologized. What did he say? Hold up. Let me go find the messages. I'm trying to find the messages because I actually still have the messages. So it basically says, so he says, so the last time we talked was June 30th of 2017. But before that, and so this is how the conversation went. It went, so he started talking to me back. So he said in my, because after I changed my number and I didn't tell nobody I changed my number, he said in my DM. So he was like, so this is what he said. I'm like trying to like go all the way back up to the messages and stuff. So he was like, so basically this is all he said you don't mess with me no more. I said I have moved, sir. He said where you at? So I told him. He's like, why you never said I just needed it? He said even when you was here you didn't really fuck with me, like you forgot all about our past. LOL. And I was like, you were always busy and you got married and had kids, so I let you alone. He said, but we have history. And I was like, I know. He's like, okay, then I thought about you a lot, but it seemed like you ain't want to talk to me. I said, because you had a whole wife and kids. And he was like, so you could have talked to me. I let you do you. LOL, now you gone. He's like, when the hell you coming back? I said, I don't know who you live with. And I told him, and he was like, so you can't pop up down here? I said, I can, but I don't know when. He said, you should come spend some time with, I'm just saying I'm free when. I said, well, I don't know. He said, oh. And I was like, yeah. He said, man, you need to come, LOL. I said, I would think about it. He said, oh, LOL, oh, wow, what you doing now? I said, about to start online class. He's like, oh, okay. Yeah, anyways, I said, anyways, what's that it? He was like, damn, what you done talking to me? I said, just want to know if that's all you wanted. He was like, no. He's like, did you ever think about me? I said, yeah, I did. He said, what you thought about? I said, just missing you. He's like, you really miss me? I said, I used to. And he said, yeah, I feel you. You thought about how we was in the past, yeah, and I realized it was a lie, and I was over it. What was a lie? I said, us was a lie. He said, but what made it a lie? He said, you have gotten a whole, you've gotten a whole wife and kids. He said, yeah, but you wasn't talking to me before that, like you wouldn't want to. Before all this, look, you cut me off. I said, I didn't. I said, I didn't. You cut me off. He said, you didn't really talk to me for a while. I didn't know how you would react if I reached to you first. Well, I said, well, it hurt me. And when you got married, but said, that's okay. And besides, we couldn't really be together if you want to. I said, it hurt you for real? I said, yeah, it did. I cried. He said, why did you cry? And I said, it's not important. I'm happy for you, and I hope you and I hope you love is the married life. He was like, no, tell me why you cried. I said, no, it's not important. He said, please tell me. To me, it is. And I said, I feel like you sold me a pipe dream, and I felt foolish to believe that there was something when there was nothing. I knew nothing about you except we were family, and I couldn't cross the line. And that I wanted to sleep with you, and I had wasted all the time thinking around and hoping you would really care when you just wanted sex. He's like, sorry, it wasn't only sex. I did really like you. The only thing was we were around family every day. I was with blank freaking every day. You know that would have caused a big drama, and I was scared, but I really did care about you very truly. I said, so I said, bet. He was like, I'm serious. I'm serious. Was I young? Yes, but did I like you? I don't know why you would think I'm lying about that. I believe you was cool. I just wish you the best. He was like, I appreciate that. I do. Says that all you wanted. So he said no. So why you acting like you don't want to talk to me? Because we don't have nothing to talk about. You have a whole wife, and now when I don't fit into that. So he said, so what you mean we can't talk? We're talking about nothing wrong with the couple. I said, I just don't fit. He said, how don't you fit? I said, it's not important, and I don't see what we have to talk about. He said, catch up on life. I've been doing good. I mean, but that's you. You push away. I said, okay. He said, wow, that's serious. I said, yeah, you hurt me, so I'll let you do you. He's like, I never tried to hurt you in any way. Like, seriously, I really care about you. I ain't never really played you like that, so I don't know where you get that from. It seemed like you never wanted to talk to me before all this I heard you had a boyfriend and shit, so I thought you would never talk to me, period. I'm talking before I was even married. I said, wow, okay. He was like, that's what I mean. You never wanted to talk to me, I never tried to hurt you, and I apologize for that. Man, I reached out to you, but might be if I bother you. And I said I did want to talk to you, but it felt weird. He's like, how it just felt weird. I said, just felt like you would not care, like you wouldn't. He's like, I care about you, chill out. I said, okay. He was like, yeah, so can you come? So can you not? I said, fine. He was like, hello, thanks. You was really mad, but I apologize if I hurt you in any way. Okay. So, and then so basically now he checks up on me and stuff. And not gonna lie, it does feel weird and shit. So he's like, hi. So he'll send me like, so, you know, he's like, hey, how are you? He was like, oh, hey, how's everything with you and stuff like that. And honestly, I don't know how to feel. I don't, because it feels like, you know how you forgive people and then you don't want to deal with them anymore? Like, that's never been me. Like, but this one, I feel like I've forgiven you. Let's leave it in the past. We will never be cool again, because I know that there's a certain extent that I know that we can never cross. You guys, this has been the story time. I don't want to put the messages up there because I don't know how to blot out stuff yet, and I don't want to expose the person who it is. So, yeah. If you like what you saw, thumbs me up. If you didn't, thumbs me down. Leave a comment down below. Make sure you press the subscribe button, turn on post notifications, and I'll see you guys later. See you guys later.
The goals that I see, time and time again, I try to make you believe, but I realize I'd rather just do me. Yeah, I'm getting to this mind.